If you've seen the title for today's video, you're probably thinking Jeremy has gone mad, because over the last few months I've shared many times in live videos and some of my recorded stuff about the current condition of the housing market and where things are and where things are going. You know, as an agent who is connected with people all across the country, I have spoken with hundreds of agents over the last few months as to where you think the market's going to be, where do you think it's going, and the recurring theme that everyone keeps saying is there's no way we can continue to increase at the current rate that we're at. And I was starting to agree with them that, you know what, there's no way we can. And then I saw an article from Goldman Sachs that was posted that stated that in 2022, you can expect there to see an average price increase on housing of 16%. 16%? Whoa, that's mind-blowing. But you know what? And when I started to think about it more, it's not that crazy, and it is a possible thing to happen. So we're going to discuss this today. We're going to get into some of these details. As I read through that article, one of the things that really stood out to me is what they said. We're not heading towards another housing crash, but that things are going to continue to stay strong, continue to increase in price. And I agree with that. You know, I've spoken with several lenders here locally and also some in other parts of the country, and we all agree the same thing. Interest rates right now for a home are extremely affordable. You can get a home loan for 3%, maybe 2.5%. I just refinanced my house at 2.875. It was phenomenal. We were able to drop our payments by several $100s a month just by doing a simple refinance. And from what everything shows, interest rates are not going to go skyrocketing back up. You know, we bought our house in 2019, and when we bought our home, we were excited to get that 4.75 interest rate. That rate today is extremely high. People would be screaming from the rooftops if somebody offered them 4.75. You know, everything shows in the stats that in the next year, we might see a slight increase in interest rates, but it's not going to be very large. The thing that many people are sharing is that if interest rates go up some, then prices of houses are going to go down. That's just nuts. Just because the interest rate goes up does not mean that houses are no longer going to sell. They're going to go up a slight bit, which is going to make those houses cost a little more, but it's not going to make houses go from $300,000 back down to $250,000. But here's the thing we need to consider. If interest rates do go up, that it starts to force housing prices to come down some, it's not going to make that big of a difference to make houses more affordable. It's going to cause all kinds of other issues that we'll talk about a lot as we move through this video. Here's something that I really want you to take time to think about. You can either buy the house right now, where you might pay a slightly higher purchase price, let's say $300,000 for it versus $295 or $290, or you can wait 6 months to a year when we might see a little more inventory on the market and the ability to buy that house instead of at $300,000 for $290,000. So whether interest rates go up or housing goes down, you're still going to end up paying more for the house in the long run. Think of it this way. If you were to purchase a house and the price comes down $10,000, or if the interest rate goes up, that costs you. Have you ever looked at an amortization sheet? Here's an example of one right here. It's gonna make you ill if you look at it. Yeah, 360 payments if you just make the minimum payment each and every month. But what I want you to pay attention to whenever you see an amortization sheet is the amount of interest you're going to pay. So if you're getting a rate right now at 3% just for easy numbers and it goes to 3.5, that could be an additional $30,000 to $40,000 over the life of the loan. So what you really need to think about and decide is, would I rather put a little bit more money in an individual seller's pocket, or would I rather put more money into some big conglomerate bank's pocket that really doesn't need to have more of our money? Personally, I'd rather take care of the little man, the little guys in this situation, and if I need to pay a little bit more price-wise for a house, I'll do that and get it now versus waiting a couple months or a year and having to pay a higher interest rate, which is going to cost me way more in the long run. So let's now talk about one of the biggest issues that we're having right now in the real estate industry, and that is inventory. You've heard probably, if you've turned on the news anytime in the last few weeks, supply chain
disruption,
the supply chain crisis,
the supply chain
global supply chain crisis
The global supply chain.
You've heard about how there are cargo ships stuck out in the ocean that they can't get into the ports to unload their things because there's not enough people to work. And this is causing major issues on everything across the country. Not only is it affecting your normal day-to-day goods, but it's affecting things that are needed to purchase your home. Products that are coming from overseas. Maybe that's a faucet, maybe that's a ceiling fan part, or I bought a car recently, it was a microchip. We couldn't get the microchips because they were stuck in a cargo ship somewhere out at sea, and it's causing all kinds of issues in that industry. Well, the housing market is no different. A lot of things are being affected by the supply chain being reduced right now and the ability to get products and goods into port and into this country. And so with that happening, it's causing all types of major havoc all over the real estate industry. So let me share an example of a recent client of mine who was trying to purchase a brand new home. They purchased a beautiful, gorgeous 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 3-car garage. And one of their big selling factors that they wanted in this house was the 3-car garage. Now, when they purchased this house, it had a double door and then a single door to make the 3-car garage. You wouldn't think this would be a big deal. However, one of the big things that right now suppliers are having trouble getting is single door garages. So here we are, we're the week of closing. The builder has told us we must close on that date. If we do not, your rate's going to expire, your contract may become void, and we're going to lose this home. So we're panicking as the buyers, and we get there to do our final walkthrough, and what do we find? There's no issue with us, we're ready to go. But the house has a major issue. They couldn't get that single car garage in. So what they ended up doing was taking a double door garage, cutting it in half and putting it in temporarily just so we could close on the home. The people then had to wait several weeks until the new ones could come in that matched the double door they had already and put those in place. A major inconvenience, living with the house without a garage door connected, not able to use it for several weeks because the supply chain for garage doors is an issue right now. This is something that's happening though in so many different facets of the real estate market. It's affecting things like flooring, it's affecting some of the things we need for faucets, ceiling fans, lighting fixtures, all of those things, parts and pieces are not able to get to the suppliers here in the country to build these things and get it out for the inventory. Builders are trying their darndest to get these things in and get them in place, but it's just not something available. And so take that into consideration when you're looking at a house right now. If you're checking into new construction as a possibility, there could be some major issues that could come up along the process. We may end up being delayed. Another client of mine was moving from California. They bought a beautiful house here in Myrtle Beach. Well, they thought they did. They still haven't closed on it, but they were supposed to close the beginning of October. So they got everything done with their home in California. They sold it. They put everything in a pod shipping container and they headed east all the way over here to South Carolina. But the problem was when they got here, the home isn't ready. In fact, the home isn't anywhere near ready. We're now maybe going to close before Thanksgiving, which means for the last 6 weeks, they have had to live in Airbnbs all across North and South Carolina, 1 week here, 1 week there, 1 week wherever, moving constantly and spending a fortune because their new home is not ready. And why is the new home not ready? Because they cannot get the products in to finish building the home. So this is issues that are happening all across our area right now, and just something you definitely want to keep in mind when looking at those new construction as well. Hey, are you enjoying this content? If so, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, get that bell on, hit the subscribe so you know when the next video comes out. I really appreciate it. Well, we really need some more affordable homes here in the Myrtle Beach area. What we just need more than anything right now is more inventory. We need homes in all price points, new and resales, to come on the market to take care of the demand that is out there. But it takes me back to my olden days of high school economics and college econ, where basically there's a thing called supply and there's a thing called demand. When there's a high demand and low supply, it's going to take prices through the roof. And that's where we're at right now. There's an extremely high demand of people wanting to purchase houses each and every day, but there's nowhere near enough inventory available for them to purchase at this time. So what does that cause? Prices to continue to raise up. You don't believe me? Look at the gas shortage that we recently had here in the area, where one of the pipelines was hacked into. What happened to fuel prices? Almost overnight, they jumped 30, 60, 70 cents up to ridiculously high numbers. Or better yet, let's talk about the automotive industry for a minute. Have you tried to purchase a vehicle over the last few months? Right now, the price of a brand new vehicle is the same or less than used vehicles. Why is that? Because they're impossible to find either of them. My wife and I, we tried to get her a new vehicle recently, and it took us over 7 weeks just to find a basic minivan. We didn't want anything special. She wanted a white one with beige interior, and she wanted the entertainment package. We didn't try to get anything special or unique to it. It was a simple, basic thing. But it still took us 7 weeks to find the vehicle. We had to get someone actually in Sumter, South Carolina, at a dealership there, to find the vehicle for us, and he personally drove it to us here because we couldn't even find it here locally. That's how crazy markets are. Better yet, let's talk about the housing industry a minute and construction costs. Remember last year when lumber kept going up and up and up? The price of a 2x4 tripled almost overnight. And when that happened, it affected every part of the housing industry. Builders had a certain price in mind for lumber, for building the frame of a house, and that number tripled overnight. So what does that do? That's going to affect the overall price of a house. If there becomes a lack of supply, you're going to see prices and demand go through the roof. The other factor that we need to take into consideration is this. The builders have zero incentive to build more affordable homes. Why would they worry about building something that's more affordable when they can build things at a higher price point, make more profit, and they're still selling quickly each and every day? As long as we continue to have this shortage of inventory, the builders are going to continue to raise prices. Prices overall on resales are going to continue to go up, and we really can't blame anyone for it. As long as this continues going forward, we're going to continue to have this affordability crisis here in the area. Here's the one thing though that I do know. If we were to start to have more homes available, they would probably start to become more affordable real quick. This shortage of inventory and this crisis of finding affordable homes is not something just here in Myrtle Beach. This is something that is happening all across the country. Freddie Mac recently released a report saying that 3.8 million houses are needed right now to meet the demand of the current market. Here in the Myrtle Beach area, there's hardly anything that's available for sale. I did a search and looked, and right now there are just about 200 houses for sale that are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a 2-car garage and are under $300,000. That's not a lot of inventory. If we just were to back things up to 2019, my guess is that number would probably be 5 to 6 times as many, if not more. So there's not a lot of inventory out there. The market is still very busy. People are still looking for houses, and they're having to battle to get them. There are definitely some tricks that we can do, and if you want to learn more about them, shoot me an email and I can help you with that. I've had pretty good success this year at helping my clients to get into a home here in the area. I've only lost a few times in multiple offer situations, and so far my track record's pretty good. So I have some pretty good information that I can share with you on how to achieve getting that home ownership here in the Myrtle Beach area. If you want to learn more, shoot me an email. My info's down below on that. Even as we head into the winter months here in Myrtle Beach, where there may not be quite as high a demand for people looking for homes and making the move to the area, we're not going to see a slowdown and or a mini crash or whatever you'd like to call it that's going to be enough to really affect the lack of inventory here in the area. So what does that mean as we head into 2022? Prices are going to continue to rise, demand is going to continue to stay strong, and I really feel that our market here in Myrtle Beach is going to be great throughout the next year. So what do you think? Is the housing market here in Myrtle Beach as we head into 22 going to become more affordable, or is it going to continue to rise? Are we going to have an influx of properties coming to market, or is things going to continue to be real low inventory wise? I'd love to hear your comments. Leave one down below. Listen, I'm Jeremy Blanton with RE/MAX Southern Shores, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up, get that bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.